Anzac Day, Ed, we're excited.
Go Pies!
Go Bombers. I think we can... Often teams are responding hard off being embarrassed and smashed, like the Bombers have. And we want to talk about Jordan De Goey. So the man there, I've been very critical of him, but he's had a hot start to the season.
Incredibly hot start. Career best form, averaging 24, 2 goals a game, 8 score involvements. And we saw Parrish on the other side. He arrived last year with BOG and Anzac Day medal. So I think De Goey's starting to repay the faith in him. He's earning respect. He's got a long way to go. But what better way to reward the faith shown in him and continue his form than being best on the ground Anzac Day and leading the Collingwood to a famous victory.
So you've got to raise something interesting here, Ross. So a lot of people would think Mason Cox either goes back to the VFL. Oh, there's Jordan's numbers first. Career best numbers, yeah.
Yeah, 24 disposals, basically. Clearances, he's doing it all.
Yeah.
And I've never seen him as level, as composed. I think he's in great shape. They miss him a little bit forward. They had enough entries to win that game last week, and we're going to get to that. They've got a problem up forward. Brisbane Lions forward line plays with Collingwood. Collingwood win by 5 goals last week, so their forward line didn't get it done. Yeah. And we're going to get the Grundy as well.
I think Grundy needs to evolve. I think that what he was doing 3 years ago has to... He's got to find another way to keep trying to be that best player in the game. And Mason Cox was labouring forward, Ross. So,
well, if you're going to have mediocre ruck work, and he's not flying in there, and then we'll have a look at it, like he's losing some ruck works, McInerney, he's lost something around the ground, and then you go to the other end, you've got Cox, who just seems horribly out of form. Like, if he's not marking, he's not doing much at ground level, but he's 211 centimetres. Put him in for the tip-off. You can't have 2 losses. But let Grundy, we know when he pushes forward, he takes marks. He's done it before in a final when Cox started, I think. So let Grundy go forward, be a big presence, give you some ground-level follow-up and some hit, and let Cox take some tips around the ground. At 211, if he doesn't get his hand to it, they've got to infringe against him. And I think it just frees him up, and you might get the win-win out of it.
And Grundy kicking some goals. It'd be great to see him do that. And against Sam Draper, it might be a match-up for Mason Cox. This could be the big match-up. I think if they can hold Peter right, like Alex Pearce did, that could be the difference.
Well, you're right. Alex Pearce did the job, and Fremantle win, even though he got top on the midfield. I think when you look at it, what's the threat? Well, we know Wright can kick 10 if you give him room. 2-metre Peter. I think Moore's a great roll-off player. But at some point, you've got to earn your keep. Who can beat us? Right. I'd be saying, if I was McRae, Maury, you go to him, you knock him over, we're 90% chance to win this game. Let's let Howe roll off and get your assistance. Don't worry about kicks and run off. You just knock him over and we'll get the rest done.
I can't see the Bombers scoring enough. I'm tipping the Pies, Ross. What do you think?
If Moore doesn't get right done, I think they can get up and they'll be stinging Essendon. But I think the Pies, they get their efficiency right, and what's driving Ed's crazy is the goal kicking. Get that goal kicking right, keep the form up, they win the game, the Pies.
Caro, you requested last week you wanted something on Richmond and Melbourne.
About time.
So I'm going to give you the concerns I've got for your Tigers, Caro.
I should just say this game has taken over. Anzac Day really is the match of the round.
Oh, it's already a sellout, the Anzac Day game on the Tuesday. But this is round 1 to 5, so you can see the inconsistency in Richmond. This just did not happen years ago,
No, they're
Ross.
Actually consistent.
Yeah, consistently bad, aren't they? Yeah. And you look at that, one of the rounds they didn't concede, the Dogs scored 7 goals, 19. So I've got real concerns for their defence and even the pressure further afield. We show some vision, some of the marks that have just been taken against them. This was Max King, did a number as they lost pressure through the midfield. Maxi King put on a clinic, and then who would have thought that Himmelberg would kick 4 and Tex Walker, who's not a monster of a forward, he's a good forward, but he doesn't ragdoll you or anything. But you see young Miller. Since Dylan Grimes has gone out of that side, I think that defensively, Caro, the Tigers have fallen apart.
Yeah, I couldn't agree with you more. Yeah. They've lost their DNA. Their DNA was ferocious pressure on the ball and team defence. Now, whether it's been the rule change or personnel or hunger, I can't answer that, but it's not there. And Dimmer said it. We're just not winning contests around the ball and behind the ball, so or forward of it either. So they're in trouble. They've lost their DNA.
Right, while you're talking, their DNA's name is Dustin Martin. Any news?
Well, it's strong. Dustin Martin's been in Sydney for a little while. He's back in Melbourne, and it's as strong as I've heard that there's a very good chance he'll be back training over the next week, Ed. Can't confirm it, but that's what I believe is a strong chance.
And speaking of comebacks, Mick Malthouse is coming back to address the Collingwood players, I think maybe tomorrow, invited by Craig McRae. And Mick was magnificent around Anzac Day, so that's wonderful to see Mick back at the club after
Probably hasn't happened for a little while, that invite back, Ed.
No.
Had to have a bit of distance.
Got to have a bit of, well, he was coaching other people and you've got to have a bit of a distance, and it's great. Everyone loves each other.
Ross, Melbourne are ferocious. Their DNA is still ferocious. And do you think it's an easy win for Melbourne? if they play at their
There's
best.
no easy games in AFL football. There's no easy wins against the Tigers, but
I've loved this, though. The last 2 weeks from leaders, Ross, that was Max in Adelaide, and then watch what Stephen May did the week over. This is he hacked the ball forward. He went to have a shot. It went over his head, Max. But then this, look at the scoreboard, 86-37, and May is doing things like this.
yeah, that's habit.
Yeah.
They've built habits over summer. And now their belief is through the roof and in each other. They're there just in case now. They're taking you to deep water and they're drowning you quick. They're going to the end. They know they can go to the end. They don't panic. It's great to see.
They're a pleasure to watch at the moment, Ed.
Good on you guys. That was, geez, I'm excited for the weekend's footy. What about you, Karen?
I am, I'm really looking
Can the
forward
Tigers
to
get up?
Anzac
And
Day.
will Melbourne fans actually go to the game? Or will they just stay down at Sorrento for the weekend?
Well, I hope so. They need to turn up in bigger numbers than they're
They
turning up
want
at
to
the
turn
moment.
up. Jeez, they've won one flag in 50 70s. Come on, turn
They
up,
will.
please.